So yes, I initially wasn't going to go vote in this upcoming federal election, but I was somewhat inspired by the various stories I've heard over the many years of Afghanis braving very tough journeys in order to exercise the right to vote, and I suppose I've taken democracy for granted, so for me braving a 4-hour bus ride into Hanoi. Luckily this one's air conditioned though, so it's a little bit nicer.
The Australian Embassy. I thought it was a consulate at first. I thought it was going to be a consulate, but it turned out to be a fully fledged embassy, so it's quite nice.
So yes, it was here that I placed my vote. Exciting. But as usual, I voted below the line, because that's the sort of person I am.
Okay, so I'm back at SJV House. After voting, I got myself some Japanese food, which was a fantastic change from the usual. So I got a bit of a large platter of sushi, which was excellent, and I had 2 bottles of Asahi, which compared to Hanoi beer actually tasted quite good. I could actually taste malt in this beer. It was quite expensive compared to how much meals normally cost. It was about 15 American dollars, which would get me about 15 bowls of pho.
And to interrupt, this is pho. It's a noodle soup dish which apparently has regional varieties everywhere.
Quite expensive in Vietnam, of course very cheap compared to what it would cost in Australia, but quite expensive over here. But I'm just incredibly satisfied, so I'm quite happy to pay the extra expense for that. I also caught the motor taxi back to SJV House, which is, as I mentioned, where I am now. And the guy got lost many times. He stopped several times for directions, at one point trying to drop me off at the Intercontinental Hotel. So that was a little frustrating, but I had a bit of a tour of most of Hanoi as a result. But I finally made it back here, so all's well that ends well, I suppose.